Yo, what's good? It's Dez of the Windy City Slime Dogs of the Straight Shooters of Yahoo Fantasy Football League. We back with week 2 of the podcast. It's week 10 of the regular season of the NFL. So we're gonna go over some matchups that happened last week, some trades, uh, and this week's matchups. A few other things that whatever pop up. We just going with the flow, man. We just going with the flow. Last week we had a lot of technical difficulties. My first time shooting a pod, trying to get everything together. So man, we it was a little rough, but we gonna get through it, man. That's what we here for, man. So last week we discussed the standings, all the teams, you know, what's going on so far. Try to catch up on some trades, other shit that happened. Couldn't really talk about everything, but I went against the Monstars. I did win, so now I'm on a 5 game winning streak to make me 5-4. It was a low scoring week for me, as well as the Monstars. I got lucky, man. I had the Pat Mahomes bad game. In the last episode, it was cut off, but I was discussing how Pat Mahomes has been basically the top quarterback in the fantasy football league this year. As a surprise, he's not really too good in fantasy the last few years, but this year top, real good. I had to go against DJ Moore. Had 25 fantasy points, man, in our league. Had a scoring, I think he had a receiving and a pass, a touchdown, man. So that was tough for me, man. I had to go against that on a good game from him. Luckily, it didn't affect me too much. It didn't hurt me too much. I had Dak. A-Chain do what he had to do. It was my first week with Puka, so Puka did what he do. Trey McBride, my first week with him after acquiring him in the trade. So yeah, they did what they were supposed to do, man. Got us to keep going. Now, shout out Black Delegation, man. Black Delegation for making me sound smart when I said watch out for them, even though they was on a 4 game losing streak. They got a lot of healthy bodies back, man. Black Delegation put up the highest scoring week. They scored 240 in our league, man. That's going crazy, man. So let's go ahead and check out who Black Delegation had get off for them, man. So they top performer was Brock Bowers last week, man, 43 fantasy points, man. Him and Lamar had the same amount of fantasy points. So for your tight end and quarterback to score the same, you went crazy. So, like I said, you had to watch out for him, man. He was getting a lot of people back healthy. It might not have looked good. He made a bad trade with the Bijan Robinson, but like I was saying, it really didn't affect him too much. He did what he was supposed to do, man. He did what he was supposed to do. Got healthy, got the win. Against Hannibal Collector, didn't really have a good week, man. He got Aaron Jones. He recently acquired him. He got hurt. Brian Thomas, he recently acquired him, got hurt. So right before this matchup, Hannibal Collector traded Rico Dowdle for Aaron Jones and Brian Thomas Jr. I personally didn't really like that trade. Over the last month, Rico Dowdle has been a running back one. You traded him for an injury-prone, older vet running back and an inconsistent wide receiver for this season. So, yeah, I really don't like that trade, and it showed right here, man. You scored 154 points. Rico scored 40 points by itself, damn near. So, you might not have still beat back delegation, but you would have had at least 30, 40 more points on your win. I mean, for your week, man. And the points matter at the end of the season, so that might be a big loss. You never know. I'm playing Hannibal Collector this week, so hopefully it come to fruition for me and his team don't get better. Don't turn around on me this week, but we'll see. Uh, we had Smokey the Bear beat Blowing Smoke 206 to 161. Man, Smokey the Bear has been solid, man. He's 6-3. That's the defending champ. So, man, he's looking for a strong push to end the season, man. So he had Josh Allen do what Josh Allen do. Kyron Williams, Chase Brown. And your fourth best player was a kicker, man. Sometimes it happen, man. I got Boswell from Pittsburgh. I got a 20-point game for him before, and he been the number one kicker the last week. Last month. So you gotta pay attention to them trends, man. You can't keep going off of season long what people done did the first 2, 3 weeks of the season and just be comparing that throughout the season, man. The season is about trends. You gotta look at what's going on, man. Everybody ain't gonna be playing the same around the same time. Some people ramp up slower than others. Some people have hot starts and slow down. Some people have slow starts and heat up. So next we got the matchup of the week. We had No Cap going up against Straight Cash Homie. So, man, Straight Cash Homie had a big injury with Tucker Crab getting hurt, so it was pretty rough. But pretty much his team, they got their projections, it just didn't exceed projections. You had Bijan get 23. You had Armand do what he's supposed to do. You had James Cook do what he's supposed to do. It's just tough to beat No Cap even on a down week, He had McCaffrey, so man, you got McCaffrey in our league, man, doing what he do, even though he don't get the rushing touchdowns all the time. I think he got it last week, but even though he low on rushing touchdown, man, he gonna do everything else at a high clip, man. Number one skill player in our league, man. So Straight Cash Homie gonna look to bounce back. They still number 2 in their division, so they gotta get a little healthy, maybe make a big move at another position, because like I said last week, but it was cut off. Straight Cash Homie got a top 2 starting lineup in our league, man, just when they fully healthy. So gotta watch out for Straight Cash Homie, even though they 5-4. Then our low key matchup of the week was Murray Up and By and Bud Canes, man. So man, it was tight, man. It was real tight. Came down to the Monday night game with Javonte. If he would have gotten the end zone, man, it might have been a little bit better for him, man. He lost 192 to 186. So, man, that was a tough loss for Bud Canes, who 5-4 now. Still third in the division. But, man, the Glock division looking pretty strong, man. Murray Up and By 6-3. Still top of their division. We'll look to keep going with that, man. Let me see. So, yeah, man, Murray Up and By won the low-key matchup of the week, man. So, we're going to try to keep that low-key matchup of the week coming, man. That low-key matchup of the week seems to be going good for me, man, with the predictions, man. So, I'm going to try to keep that going for y'all. Man, it was a tough week, man. It was a tough week. Like I said, for me, man, it was a low-scoring week, man. We had the lowest-scoring matchup of the week. So, everybody else got to see their guys get off, man. So that was good for them. Shout out to everybody that scored over 160. What I get? 163. Scored over 164 points, man. They would have whooped me regardless, man. I would have lost to half the league if I would have played anybody else. So sometimes your schedule come out like that, man. Sometimes your schedule come out good for you, man, where somebody else got guys on bye as well. Some guys get hurt, don't practice, man. Make sure you watching the Wednesday practice, Thursday practices. Make sure your guys playing, man. Big thing I like to do is get them backups, man. My bench not too good because I'm waiting on that one backup. I haven't hit too well on that this season, man. But other people have. Like I said, Hannibal Collector, man, they looking real good. You got Rashad White again, that's finna take off for you. That was a big pickup. Bucky still out. So Rashad White is going to plug back in, man. Be solid, man. Be solid. So now we're going to go over some recent transactions that happened this past week. I know what everybody here for, man, but we're going to take our time getting there, man. I know how it is, man. We've been anticipating from last week to this week a lot of stuff that happened, man. So we're going to talk about the trades that happened. So I already mentioned the Rico Dowdle trade that happened on the 2nd. That was Rico Dowdle from Hannibal Collector for Brian Thomas Jr. and Aaron Jones Sr. Yeah, so like I already gave my opinion. I really ain't like that trade. But, excuse me. Hannibal Collector made up for it 3 days later, man. 3 days later, after the trade deadline, they made a good trade. They acquired Kamani Badal, Bill Merritt, and Garrett Wilson for Jacoby Myers and Charbonnet. That was a great deal, man. I just bigged up Murray up and by last week about Vidal. He's been basically a low end running back one. In our league the last month, he's been a 10th ranked running back. I want to say 10th or 11th. I might be spot off, but that's still a low end running back one. So for you to trade him for Jacoby Myers and Charbonnet, uh, I don't like that deal, man. I don't like that deal. You might have some longer term effects later in the season, but as of right now, I don't like that deal. You got a running back that's been splitting carries, and you got a wide receiver that ain't did nothing, been disgruntled, and about to go learn a new offense. That an offense that ain't really been that great this season anyway. So to trade running back one for that, I don't know what's going on, man. But Hannibal Collector to trade a running back one and acquire another running back one, good job, bro. Good job. Okay, the next trade that caused the steer, that caused a frenzy in our league, man. So uh, on November 5th, the Goats bowed out, claimed that they were going to relocate, move around, change team names, and around 4:55 on November 6th, a trade went down between the Goats and No Cap. We have No Cap sending Sam Laporta, Joe Mixon, and Terry McLaurin to the Goats for Nico Collins and George Kittle. Now you probably gonna be like, oh, those are good players. Sound good. Why it caused a frenzy? It caused a frenzy because, like I just said, the Goats bowed out. Joe Mixon hasn't played all season. Terry McLaurin has been in and out. So it just looks like, man, it just looked bad, man, on the surface, man. I crashed a little bit. Everybody in the league crashed. But at the end of the day, man, that's why we ain't got Vito, because people going to do what they going to do. Because Vito is not made to be used for, I'm mad I didn't get no deal like that. Veto is made for deals like this where you feel like it's collusion, whatever. But I don't want to blur the lines because, like I said, man, that veto, it's a lot of hating people heart, man, for not getting deals. So that veto is a crutch that people lean on. So I don't like veto at all, man. Because if you get a deal done, you got a deal done. It's a difference between making a bad deal and making a bad deal knowing it's bad on purpose, man. So, yeah, that was a bad deal. Caused a real ruckus in the league, man. Caused people to say things, man. It was a long conversation. But at the end of the day, man, we just got to express how we feel. We got past it. You keep your guys. Everybody else about to try to win the ship anyway, man. So we gotta do what we gotta do, man. Don't let that get you down. Just make another move, man. We got trade deadline in a couple days, so make a move. I know I did, man. So the Goats also traded Stephon Diggs to Bud Kangs for Romeo Dobbs. That's solid, man. Romeo Dobbs has been I want to say a top 12 wide receiver the last month, man, in our league, man. If you go look at it, he's been solid. He's been solid. So that was a good pickup for the Goats if they wanted it, if they needed it to make a playoff push. But yeah. So Stephon Diggs, it's probably might be a wash. I probably would have kept Dobbs just how he been going. But I understand if Bud Kangs want to go off Stephon Diggs and that offense with Drake May. So I made a funny trade, man. I made a funny trade. Like I said, I was in my feelings about the whole no cap and the ghost trade. So I was like, fuck it, man. I'm gonna send me a trade. Like everybody's sending trades, so I'm gonna send one. I ain't think he was gonna actually take it, but he did. So I sent Dak Prescott and Jake Ferguson to the goats for Jalen Hurts and Sam Laporta. So like I said, I didn't think he was gonna take it. I had both of those guys on buy, so I'm like, man, fuck, it's worth a shot. Everybody else getting fucking deals done. Let me go ahead and get me one. So I said, whatever, man. So I tried, and he did. He accepted it. So hopefully it work out for me. We back with this week's matchups. So it's week 10. Thursday night game played already. The Raiders and the Broncos. I don't think it was really too fantasy friendly for a lot of teams. A couple of them so far, but for the most part, that was a tough game to watch, man. That was a real tough game. So like I said, I'm going against Hannibal Collector this week. Smokey the Bear is facing Straight Cash Homie. Black Delegation is facing Sonic Boom. Blowing Smoke is facing the GOAT, so one of them gonna get a win, even though they don't want it for real. They gonna get one. Uh, Bud Kangs and the Monstars are playing. And the matchup of the week is No Cap and Murray Up and Buy. No Cap and Murray Up to Buy. Uh, my low key matchup of the week is I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go Black Delegation Sonic Boom, man. They was the two highest scoring teams last week. Um, like I said, Black Delegation's on the up and up. Sonic Boom showed some promise last week, so I'm gonna make that my low key matchup of the week. Let's see if this matchup be as good as last week's low key matchup of the week, man. So yeah, we got that. Um, yeah, man. It was a pretty smooth week, man. Like I said, that trade caused a lot of ruckus, man. So it was a good week. Everybody was talking, man. Everybody was talking about different deals and stuff, trying to get stuff done. Just talking, and that trade just came out of nowhere, man. Blindsided everybody. Uh, had everybody thinking you was done, and then to do that trade like that with your own flesh and blood made it seem a little fishy, man. That's why everybody got in their feelings, man. That's all it was, man. Just gotta be careful with the optics of these deals, and then trying to defend it. It ain't make it too better, man. So just be careful with the optics of your deals, man, because like I said, everything don't look good, man. Everything don't look good. Uh, so yeah, man. Everybody, try and get some deals done, man. I traded. I did a deal that won't push through to this later this week because of the game that I already played. So I traded Cortland Sutton to um, to Smokey the Bear for DK Metcalf. So just me personally, I've been getting a little tired of the Broncos offense. Cortland Sutton has started off as the wide receiver one, but over the last month, Troy Franklin has taken over that role and has been a top 10 wide receiver, man, over the last month, man. So Troy Franklin, man, has been a steal, a good steal. I think Sonic Boom has him as well, so that's a good pickup, man. It's a good pickup. So yeah, man. It was some discussion made about my trades, that I made that might have been a little lopsided. But like I mentioned before, man, it's a difference between making a bad trade because you don't know what you're doing and making a bad trade knowing exactly what the hell you're doing, man. You know what you're trying to get out of it, man. So let's not be naive about that, man. But a lot of folks didn't like the deal that I made, which was Devontae Adams and Brees Hall for Nick Chubb, Ken Walker, and Kareem Hunt. I made this trade on October 16th. It was at the time the two players I traded for wasn't helping her win, right? So I traded a three starting running backs for an inconsistent running back on the offense at the time on the Jets, and Devontae Adams, this was like right after the Puka injury, so it wasn't played yet. I got ahead of the three touchdown game in London, so I got lucky with that one. So it made it look even worse. But again, those three players helped her acquire her first and only win of the season at the time. So, hey, say what you want. Also, they didn't like how I traded Jamar. I'm sorry, I traded Baker Mayfield and Jacoby Myers for Jamar Chase and I'm sorry, I acquired Jamar Chase and Jacoby Myers for Baker Mayfield and Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman has been a top 10 wide receiver in our league the last month. That this was right after I want to say week 4, but Jake Browning was still the quarterback. So he didn't have Joe Burrow. I didn't get that game. I traded Chase the game that he fucking went off on. So I didn't even get that fucking game. So if I would have known. Alright, so I'm gonna add something real quick. I just thought about it, man. Since I've been going over a lot of rankings from the last season, I'm gonna just give the top 10 from each position over the last month, just so everybody can have an idea like how this thing changed, man. Don't just go by clicking on your player and seeing what that rank say, man, because that rank is overall during the season. Your guy could have started off with 3 straight 50s, and he got so far ahead. Now his rank gonna look good the rest of the year, no matter what he do. And some people ain't even hit their bye weeks yet, so you gotta take that into account as well, man. So the last month we got Joe Flacco has been the #1 fantasy quarterback in our league. This is for our league settings. So we got Joe Flacco 1, Justin Herbert 2, Bo Nix 3, Jackson Dart 4. Bo Nix is 3 now because they counted that last game, so that's kind of asterisk. Jackson Dart 4, Drake May 5. So Hannibal Collector got 2 top 5 quarterbacks the last month. It's hard to decide who you're going to play, man, but you got to go with the MVP candidate, Drake May, I would think. So he been doing that. Patrick Mahomes at 6, Daniel Jones, Caleb Williams, Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers, I'm sorry. So Aaron Rodgers is a free agent. He's been a top 10 quarterback, man. Wide receivers the last month. Like I said, Jamar Chase is 1, T. Higgins is 2, Smith and Jigba is 3, Drake London is 4, Pickens is 5, Ladd is 6, Rashee Rice is 7, Pittman is 8, Troy Franklin is 9, Olave is 10. So, how many of those guys sound like you would have guessed it? Exactly. You never know, man. You never know. It's a long season. Running backs, we got McCaffrey at 1, Jonathan Taylor at 2, Rico Dowdle at 3, A-Chain at 4, Jacobs at 5, Bijan Robinson 6, James Cook 7, DeAndre Swift 8, Chase Brown 9, Genty 10. But Genty and Vidal is right there, man. Genty, Vidal, and Williams. Man, that's a lot of guys damn near tied. So the running backs is a little closer, but that's the top 10 for running backs. Let's go to tight ends. Tight ends, you got Gatson at 1, Trey McBride at 2, Tucker Kraft at 3, even about to be on IR. Number 4 is Travis Kelce. Tyler Warren is 5. Freiermuth is 6, man. How many of y'all would have guessed Freiermuth, man? He on the waiver wire. So you need a tight end. Freiermuth has been the 6th ranked tight end the last month, man. Don't. If it's tight end, if it's quarterback Aaron Rodgers is top 10, then his weapons got to look good too, man. His weapons got to look good. We got Colston Loveland at 7, Dallas Goedert at 8, Brock Bowers at 9, Laporta at 10. So, man, that's the rankings for the last month of the Straight Shooters Podcast League using our metrics as far as how they score, man. So, go back, man. Go look in there, man. Go look in there. We are IDP league. I feel like we should start going over some defenders too, man. We start going over some defenders. I don't really know how we would go about it though, cause it's too many defenders, man, and it's weird. I got the number 2 defender though. Man, Devin White been coming through for me, man. Devin White been a nice little pickup for me, man. A nice little steal for the defense. So yeah, you basically just want to have linebackers, man. I ain't really finna go over all these defensive guys, man. I do got the number 1 kicker too. Now that kicking and defense, man, that's just so unpredictable, man. That's just so unpredictable. So when you get your guys that's hot, just keep them until they not hot no more. Once they get cold, you better drop them, man, or you gonna be assed out, man. You gonna be assed out. But yeah, man, I think that's it for this week, man. I probably could have had more. I might have missed some stuff, man. I re-recorded this a couple times, so my crash ain't the same as I crashed the first night I recorded something on this, man. It didn't come out right. So, I just wanted to be a little bit more professional with how I talk on here, because I don't want motherfuckers to think I'm yelling at them. So, but I am if you make a bad deal. So let's not get that twisted, man. Let's not get that twisted. But yeah, man. So that's once again, I'm Dez of the Windy City Slime Dogs of the Straight Shooters Pod. Man, it's week 10. Good luck to you unless you're playing me, man. You know how it go. We going for 6 straight. Hopefully, man. Hopefully I'm 6-4 next week by the time I talk to y'all. And yeah, man. Good luck to everybody, man. Hopefully everybody stay injury free. And yeah, I'm gonna holler at y'all. Let's go.